My night job. Good for a short time, not a long time. This was one of those games I knew absolutely nothing about when I started. I was completely out of the loop. No trailers, no reviews, nothing. There was no indication I had to beat up zombies, rescue people, all whilst hacking and slashing past various references, most of which were flying over my head. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's rewind and review my night job. Webcore Games created an arcade action game where you start like any other side scroller. With a super short cutscene to fill some gaps, you're just told, beat up some Zeds and rescue 100 people. Now I don't know about you, but that seems like far too much responsibility for an introvert like me. You're thrown into the chaos from the second you start. The mansion is swarming with enemies, and your job is simple, on paper that is. Defend the rooms from collapsing, rescue survivors, and survive the endless hordes of enemies. But weapons? You get a lot of choice when it comes to how you want to fight the waves of the undead. You want to unlock your inner pugilist, smack them with a lamp you just pulled from the floor, or even just run through them with a chainsaw? Well, good news, as there's over 60 weapons to choose from. The enemies? They aren't your average, slow, brainless zombies. There's creatures that suspiciously resemble Jawas, you know, the ones that stole Artu and Tatooine. A robot that would make Arnie's Terminator jealous. And there are gargoyles, perfect for my vampiric character in Skyrim. Now, I'm not saying the devs saw every sci-fi and horror reference they could think of, but it sure looks that way. The whole premise of this game is that it's built around that classic arcade mindset. Defend the mansion, rescue survivors, and rack up those points before you run out of imaginary coins you used to play with. That feeling of being back in the arcade, aiming for the highest of the leaderboard before you run out of coins, is one of the game's strongest points. Let's start with the good, shall we? The nostalgia factor is probably its strongest feature. This is the type of game I can see lined up next to the classics in an actual arcade. When I jump into this game, I can see myself joystick in hand, waiting to slam on the buttons for jump and shoot, watching my coin pod drain away as I lose HP to the hordes of zombies. You know what hooked me more than the nostalgia feeling of this game? Is the music. You could easily find me sat on that menu, listening to the tunes on loop for hours and hours. So bonus points for that. A simple but effective premise. And sometimes simple is exactly what is needed. You jump in, fight zombies, hopefully save the people without the building collapsing, all while aiming for the best score. There's no complex skill tree to learn, no build to plan out, no overwhelming system to craft things, and no tutorial that wastes eons of your precious time. Especially with how easy the controls are to pick up. Within minutes you'll understand exactly what you're doing, what's going on, and how to get a better score. It's accessible, fast, and doesn't overcomplicate you. For quick sessions, it's perfect. Personally, I struggled playing this game for a long period of time. Usually I stream content for about 2 hours without any sort of issue. This, however, I was fighting just to get past the first hour. The gameplay loop is incredibly repetitive, with each run feeling like the last. It feels like chaos at first, but that chaos wears off quickly. There are some moments where it feels like the difficulty spikes out of nowhere, but maybe it's just me and my lack of attention. I'm not too sure on that. One moment everything will be fine, but the next everything is on the brink of collapse. Yes, it has a scoreboard, a million references, and a whole bunch of ways of killing zombies, but unless you're really paying attention, or hell, even surviving long enough to appreciate them, you might miss a lot of the charm that my night job has to offer. I didn't even know there was a leaderboard to 3 runs in. That kind of sums it up. The game has personality, but sometimes you're too busy in the swing of surviving to notice. And let's wrap this up. My night job is a fun, chaotic, arcade-styled action game that would appeal to just about anyone who loves horror themes, chasing scores and wanting just one more run. Now, it's not my usual type of game. I prefer something with a little bit more progression, variety for longer sessions, but it doesn't mean it's bad. It just knows what it wants to be and it hits its mark perfectly. And considering it's free on Epic Games till the 5th of March, I'd recommend anyone who has access to go pick it up and give it a fighting chance. Worst case, you lose nothing. Best case, you discover your new score chasing fix. And maybe, just maybe if you're lucky, you'll rescue all 100 people. See, I'm still working on that. Well, that's it for me. I've been CursedTitan, and if you want to find more of me, all of my links will be in the description below.